Well, here we are, reblurr gamers. As just posted, we have decided to attempt this challenge, the Million Mini Challenge that Warhammer put out. We are currently going to start with some drones because it will get me ticked off with a couple of minis, and at least it gives me something that makes me feel like I'm completing stuff, and we're going to jump through and try and do a few more. So because we've got so many minis ready to rock and roll, it will be a lot easier to hopefully whack through huge amounts at once, and we will be posting a lot of videos about this stuff. So right now I don't have time to go looking for the other drones that I do have that are primed, but I will be doing it soon. But we're going to start off with the typical / normal paint for drones, which I've been doing lately, which is starting off with a base of known oil. So let's rip into it. Actually, I probably should give it a shake before I start now. But yeah, this will, I guess, enable me to have a little bit of fun, see what we can get done, see what kind of craziness we can produce, and go from there. So let's get all this known oil all over this. So we've got missile drones that belong with the Riptide. So yeah, this is going to be a good laugh. It'll also allow me to use a few different things. I have the speed paint pens from Army Painter so I'll be playing with those as well. I have tested them and painted a couple of minis. I definitely like the way they work. Definitely don't have any arguments with that. But as you can see, this is the basis of the way I've been painting the drones lately, is to get this known oil down, just give it a bit of a wash over, and then we go in with a few different colors, and hopefully, it's a warmish day here, so hopefully this stuff dries pretty quick and I can get into the next thing. But I might, because I've got so many, I might be able to paint a few different miniatures all at once, and maybe get through more than just one or two in a quick block, which will be great fun, to be honest. So yeah, there will be a whole bunch of new content then with this challenge that will go up as per normal. If you like what I do, leave a comment. Let us know how you're going, how far through you are, and what you're trying to do to be able to join in and paint. Same thing. So both of those guys got their first bases done. Let's look at what else we've got here that may be quite comfortable for me to paint. We've got some tyranids. I guess I'm going to try and do something outrageous because I really don't know what colors I want to put on him. But for all intents and purposes, let's do some random green. I think we'll try and paint the carapace of this bad boy a greeny colour, which has just been shaken the shit out of. It's the Militarum green. It's a contrast paint. So let's rip into that. I want to get some of these guys done. They've got some big bits of clothing. We know what's going to happen there with that. It'll be purple. I would like to work on him. And then the steel helms, well, I would like to work on them as well at some point in time. I'm just going to go through. We do got to glue that backpack back on. We're just going to make ourselves a little bit of a hole in our desk there, so we can focus on a few things at once and at least have some idea of what we're doing. So here we go. Find the goggles and let's have some fun. All right. Now, I don't know if everyone is actually doing this challenge, but if you are, I hope that you are taking full advantage of the ability to kind of push yourself and get a bit done. I decided I would paint a lot of my miniatures of the month minis just to get them A, out of the way, and B, to try some stuff. It is definitely something different for me. They're definitely different models, but it also, because you're painting these guys and you can kind of get them done pretty quickly, I'm hoping for. As you can see there's a little bit more can be painted. We've got shoulder paneling, we've got some paneling on the arms there. I'm really hoping that I can get this done real quickly and show myself the ability to, you know, really push what I have normally been doing with these models. So yeah, so just bear with, hang tight, and enjoy. Hopefully it's not too boring for you. Alright, one side done. Moving to the second side. I also think that painting something different like a tyranid, which as you can see I'm actually getting through this model pretty quickly, or at least the armor paneling, it just changes your techniques a little bit, gives you something different to work with. I thought about using different colors intentionally because it really opens up that ability to try something new per se, and that is the whole plan. A new model, a new paint scheme. You know, this may be something good for other armies that I may want to paint in the future. I do have, you know, plenty of Tau to paint. I've got some Lothar Sea Guard that I would love to possibly get done, at least painted a little further through than what they are. And maybe that's some of the stuff that I can add to this 100 mini pledge to make life a little easier and quicker. I do know I have a lot, like a hell of a lot of drones, probably I think in around like the 25 mark, like 25 plus drones that are probably, I know a lot of them are primed, which will make for a little bit of well, I also feel like it's cheating per se because it's drones and, you know, they're more tokens than they are actually usable miniatures. When I did speak to my Friendly Games Workshop employee, he said it says miniatures, not models, so it can incorporate stuff that is going to be playable. Oops, I really did a terrible job just there. I'm just going to clean up this a little bit better. On the back of that there. And we'll get some on his leg there, which is possibly going to be a little bit painful, but you know, let's have a look. The bonus is that given currently in Australia, which is where I live, it is quite warm. So some of this stuff will actually dry relatively quickly, which will possibly make painting just that little bit easier. But yeah, we've got some green on him, so that's at least that done. And it also gives me the ability to use the new colour. We're going to jump in. I've got some different colours that I wish to have a look at and try. I'd like to paint this fella, possibly. So we're going to go in with, we've got some leather, bit of black, maybe some silver, a couple of leathers, some probably leather on there. We'll go with some Guilliman flesh, which is not that one. Oh, we have Dracoff flesh. Let's start there. So again, another unopened, freshly unopened thing, and we're going to get in and get some colours in a few different places. Now this is a beastman. I really want to work on hitting anywhere where he's not got fur. I know that it's quite easy to actually get paint in spots and then, well, repaint over it. So let's work our way around this fella, attempting to get as much on as we can. And the thing that is probably the craziest thing is starting multiple models, but there's a whole reason behind it, because right now, like, we have, what, this will be the fourth model on the go. It provides that ability to then put a model down, pick a model up, and be able to continue painting. So I'm not waiting for models to dry. You guys aren't waiting for a model to dry. I can keep going. I might even be able to record longer sessions. But it definitely makes it, for me, makes it feel a little better in terms of the fact that I am not having to stop and start all the time. Which is one of those things, especially when you're painting miniatures, is that whole stop, start, put a miniature down, pick it up. Oh, you can't go back to that because you're waiting on paint to dry, is a little frustrating and makes it feel like, you're not really getting the kind of completion that you're after. And for a lot of people, this is definitely a hobby of highs and lows. It's good to have that I completed this, I completed that feeling, and that's something that I definitely like to have. So being able to quickly paint a few of these bits and pieces, and I'm going to have to get that in there and then go over again with different colours. A few of these bits and pieces really enables that completionist feel, which definitely helps with being able to progress a mini, progress your painting, progress feelings of I'm enjoying this, rather than not enjoying it and then giving up. And like, you don't want, as miniature painters, you don't want people giving up on their painting. You want them to keep going, and especially if you are, for instance, if you are Games Workshop, you're like, guys, don't give up, paint. Friendly local game stores who are not so fussed by it definitely like to see when people that use, like people that go in and play, the regulars who, who might have started playing really late in the picture versus a lot of other people, it feels really good when you see someone go ahead and paint a miniature and finish it, or even, they've painted 4 or 5 minis and they've gotten better with each attempt, and you get that feeling of kind of like satisfaction, because you feel good for them. You do everything you can to pump them up and give them that ability to feel proud, like we do when we finish it. For people who've been painting a long time, when you finish a miniature and you're like, yes, I did it. That's the feeling you want newer people who are joining the hobby for the first time to have, that feeling, to feel like they're going in the right direction. So that's full models started. Just going to have a second to have a mouthful of water. And if I got lucky, which I'm hoping I did, the known oil is indeed dry, and I can start showing you guys these speed paint pens. And I'm just going to, I've got to shake the shit out of it to make sure that actually, hang on, you never realise how well the tips of these actually still work. So we go in, and as you can see, I can get black on this thing rather quickly. And to be honest, I actually have found that it's making it a hell of a lot easier for me to, oops, went a little bit too far because that's going to be silver, a hell of a lot easier for me to actually get this stuff painted and feel comfortable with the work that I'm doing. So as you can see, I've already gone around a section of the model with black. I can move to the next one and repeat the process. It allows for some really good, quick, easy painting, and also I feel like I've got some really good control now because of the size of the brush, the way the brush is. It's basically designed, it's not really a brush per se, it's a texture. The way that the pen is designed, it really gives me that feeling of being able to control where I'm putting the colour. And as you can see, like, we're now, well, once I've done this, two models have got, two lots of colour on them already. And that's the black. Like, I can actually go in with a silver helms, and we've still got plenty of stuff on there, and I'm just going to go in and let's paint. Let's do this. Let's go. Because I really want to paint these silver helms. We can quickly but surely, like, get in here. I'm sorry I've gone slightly quiet there, but as you can see, with the majority of this particular model, like, I've painted in already, and this is the thing, this is The Army Painter Speed Paint brush really works really well for a lot of stuff, and bang, like I'm gonna need a little bit of extra help from a different type of brush, but given that what we've got here, I can actually go through and, as you're seeing, I'm painting. Well, some people may not be overly happy with this type of painting style because it's just another version almost of that slap chop method where you can quickly but surely get a lot of quick colors onto the brush, or this per se the model. As you can see there, again, I did get a bit overexcited on the front of the side of the boot there, but quickly, there's another model with paint on it. He's got black on him. He is, sorted. You can grab anything. I can go in and I've got, let's just drop this for a second, this grey. Where is that? That is my too dark. I have a grey here. That's the silver. We have the Gravelord grey, which is here in my hand now, which is a different colour again. So, like, as you can see, it's not quite the same black that I was just using, which was their straight black. This is a grey colour. So, we can jump in and, for instance, I'm just going to quickly pick some of these parts out. Let's go with all of his cloak. Down the bottom here, I'm going to make it all this grey colour. As you can see. Let's quickly continue on a few more spots here, but for instance, this cloak has got a whole layer of grey on it. Like, you can go back in and per se, let's go with, we'll go back to the drones, which are dry. And so let's go, all of a sudden I've gotten a metallic done on the part of the drones that's always metallic for me. You know, these paint markers are a whole new kettle of fish, a whole different thing. Like, I was when I heard about it, I was a little bit skeptical. I thought, oh, surely not. It's not going to be that simple and easy. Like, but as you can see, I've just gone in and painted the entire sword. Like, I can still put more silver on there. The silver helms, you know, you can, without throwing them away, you know, go in and go, let's just make sure we can get all this painted off the way it needs to be. But, you know, for instance, there's a sword completed. Like, I can do his helmet, so I can do, you know, let's have a look here. We've got arm guards, for instance, the mace head, like, the way that these pens really do operate, like, I'm not having to switch 30 times between paint colors. I just, bang, done, put a lid on. You know, what have I got? Leather, an orange, a yellow. Oh yeah, the leather. The leather. Leather pouch. Leather on the box that's on his hip here. Like, I think that while they've probably not got as many colors as there could be, like, the ability to quickly make changes, to quickly be able to paint a piece of the model, like, it's made a massive difference. You know, there's so much stuff that these things can do that just is outrageous. And that's, I guess, what it is for the time being. That is going to be, you know, 20 odd minutes long, this video is. And as you can see, while I've started on, what have we got there? 2, 4, 6, 7 models. I've got multiple colors on a couple of them, and even can go even further. You know, we've got drones. We've got the eye of the drone. You know, the eye on the drone is done. I can go in shortly and do, because I've got a red, I'm pretty sure, which I'll double check before I make that claim. I've got a red, which I would do, you know, the tips of these missiles, which is a color I like to use for the missile tips, like. the flexibility of and some of the color range is really good. The ability to quickly, as I've just demonstrated, like there's multiple colors on this model now. Like I can go back in on that black, which I will do, and repaint it and make it look a little darker. You know, some colors really pop off the model. The red probably won't need to be repainted. I can all I have to do is dry brush and base this model. You know, it's, while some people might say, oh, that's not done, like my army is painted in a particular way that makes things rather simple to do. Like, boom, where's my black? Like, as long as my black is dry, which it should be, you can go back in and just go back in and darken it up. Boom. You know, you run the rim around the edge again. Give it some more. All of a sudden you've got, you know, a model that's almost complete. If you're happy with that, like I know that I am, because that's the way that I've been painting my drones, and there it is. The change that these pens have made or are gonna make are insane, and I'm quite happy about it. As for me, well, you know, there will be another video shortly, but that is what it is, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now, guys.